Hello, Metastrophe Masters. It's a malt mention. I'm Ralphie. Welcome to Ralphie Review 1027 Extras, and a big thank you to Tim Hoekstra or Hoekstra for that malt mention. Now, in my last review, I reviewed this a peaty, slightly fusile, young, fresh, slightly unsettled, slightly aggressive, but very tasty whisky from Benromach Distillery called Peat Smoke. It's part of their Contrasts series. It's bottled at 46% unchill filtered, so this is what you would call an integrity delivery whisky. And I would add that as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, Benromach do not add E150 caramel colourant to their bottlings. At least I sincerely hope they don't. I will find out eventually. I'm enjoying this whisky, but I tell you what, when I first opened the bottle, I did not enjoy it. I found it fusile, which means ashy, sooty, mechanical engine, warm engines, slightly metallic. And there's no harm in fusile whiskies because they tend to transform from caterpillars into the most beautiful butterflies over time in the cask. And they add flavour and character to a whisky when they're balanced. But this, little bit on the young side. And this was in the first pour. But I do have the experience to know that when we encounter these whiskies, and you won't find this happening much when you buy a bottle of Glenfiddich or Glenlivet at 40%, because it's been pre-diluted for you. It's been heavily chill filtered to sanitize the experience, to make it convenient, accessible and instant for you. And it's got a wee bit of caramel colour in it to make it probably, not Glenfiddich, not the 12-year-old anyway, but they add some caramel colourant because the darker the whisky looks, as everybody knows, because all the experts tell you, dark whisky's amazing and fascinating and so deep and wonderful and flavoursome and all that stuff. As experienced whisky drinkers, part of our journey is de-educating ourselves from the orthodox or legacy marketing that comes out the industry and going online to re-educate ourselves, because something that's so important to us with the money we spend in whisky for integrity whiskies, for flavour, smell yielding whiskies, specifically yielding whiskies, we need to have the knowledge. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of knowledge in this review. And when you open a bottle, now this has been open for 2 months now, so I let it, even before reviewing this, to give it a fair assessment in my channel. I've taken the cork off, I've poured a glass, it's been a little bit raw, little bit rough, little bit shaken up, agitated, straight out the bottle, first pour. Oh dear. So I leave the cork off for an hour, and then put the cork on and agitate the bottle a bit. That gets the trapped air into the spirit. It starts to reoxidize the settled spirit that's locked up inside the glass of the bottle. And I may occasionally do this a few times. Now, the difference, you may be probably saying, hey, Ralphie, well, why don't you wait till you poured it in the glass and just give your glass a nice big shaky, 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 like all the experts do? No. When you agitate it immediate prior to smell and taste, the problem is it's just unsettled. You're throwing the liquor into confusion. It's overexcited, and what happens now is that the smells, the odours of the whisky coming off with the evaporating alcohol are coming off too fast, too jumbled, too disorganised, and you just don't get the best experience. Now, wine connoisseurs, wine buffs, wine snobs They can do all the big shakies because they're quite passionate about the theatre, the showmanship and the blingification of their particular indulgence. But when you look at people who really know about wine, they're just going at a slower pace. They may swirl the wine, then they'll hold the wine away. They won't even nose it. Or if they are nosing it, it'll be a brief familiarity nose, and then they will continue to leave the wine. Why? Because wine, once the bottle is opened, it needs to oxidize a little bit to deliver its best version. And it's exactly the same with whiskey. Although whiskey is at a far higher alcoholic strength, and therefore the whole process takes place more slowly. It's not rocket science, but I do notice over the years observing people drinking whiskey, too many people, particularly at whiskey shows, are drinking too fast in a situation where they're too distracted by conversation, and to chase the whiskey open to get the shorthand experience, they give it a damn good shake. Or even worse, you'll see this. I kid you not. And then this. Oh yes. That is just total BS. Just don't participate in that nonsense. It's just theatrics. Here's what I recommend you do. We'll let this poor glass of whiskey settle down. There's worse things I could do to it. I could just say, yes, an absolute, I'm not even prepared. Okay, I'll do a little bit. I'll just do a little bit. Oh yes, splashy. There's people in the industry do this. Seriously. What service does it? What purpose does it serve? To shock people back awake, to get people's concentration, to make people go, "Ooh, what a waste of priceless whiskey." It's pure theatrics. That's all it is. I've demonstrated for you. I've done this in the bothy, 3 times in 10 years? It doesn't happen very often. Only when I need to demonstrate a point to you. The over-agitation, the imposition of completely disingenuous theatrics in order to try and impress people around you. And it will work. You will positively impress people who don't know much about whiskey. But people who know a lot about whiskey will quietly look on, look away, and think you're an arsehole. Sorry, it needed to be said. So, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Get yourself a bottle, any bottle. Get yourself a funnel, a plastic funnel. It does perfectly fine. Is it clean? Is it fresh? Yes. Take the lid off your bottle. It doesn't have to be a whiskey bottle. It could be a nice little wine. It's a nice Hungarian wine. It was going nowhere until I left it 2 days to oxidise. And then it was lovely. I've rinsed it out in the tap. Here's what you do. You've opened your bottle of whiskey. It's a bit agitated. Decant it. Are you decanting it into a fancy whiskey decanter? No. There's simply no need. It's absolutely pointless. And then, back you go. This is one of the most effective ways of oxidizing the spirit. And when you oxidize it, you open it up a little more quickly. You're integrating oxygen in to the whole bottle rather than giving it a shake with the cork on. with what air's trapped there. There's more air going in when you use a funnel and use another bottle. This is the most effective way. In fact, you will find some special funnels that you can get in eBay that draw air in, and this is for opening up old wines more quickly. And there's two little tiny holes at the side, and you hear it going as it draws in the air as the wine is spiralling down the rifling of the inside of the funnel. That's what it is. You don't need the fancy equipment. A plastic, clean, kitchen domestic funnel will do fine. Now, importantly, once you've done this, leave it alone. Just leave it for a week. Then you can come back. And if you're really, really keen and you want to be a little bit more specifically anorak about it, get yourself a little bottle and pour yourself a sample into it, ideally a miniature. This is the biggest miniature I've got around at the place. It's one of my rums which is maturing in an Ailsa Bay cask. Anyway, more about that later. So what you want to do is just have a sample that you've poured out the bottle into a miniature, a spare miniature, and you put the lid on it and you make sure it's full, and you do it gently so it doesn't oxidize, and of course it gives you a bit more air in the bottle if you just want to turn it up and down a few times. But try the funnel and empty bottle. It's so simple and quick and easy and effective. It's the funnel and the bottle technique for just oxidizing up your whiskey. If you open the bottle for the first time and it's just a little bit too sharp and you don't have the patience to wait a few months, yeah, you heard me, a few months to really open up. When I first opened this bottle, I waited 8 weeks before reviewing it, so as to give this a fair review on my channel. It has its shortcomings. In other words, it's just been bottled a little bit too soon. Even 1 extra year in the sherry casks would have made all the difference. However, it is what it is. It's perfectly competent single malt. I'm happy to recommend it, and it's not overly expensive. And particularly if you're a peat fan, you're just going to enjoy an alternative experience from your Islay single malts. And there you have it. That's all I have to say. See you soon.